Right now, you are ignoring the physical pressure of the chair against your back, the low hum of the room, and your peripheral vision. Every second, an ocean of information strikes your senses, but the human brain suppresses roughly 99% of it before it ever reaches conscious awareness. We imagine perception as an open window to the world. In reality, the brain is an editor with a ruthless red pen, discarding the vast majority of what it sees to keep the story coherent. The stable, manageable reality you experience is actually a curated fraction of the world, defined not by what you feel, but by what you are prevented from feeling. This editing happens at a physical bottleneck deep in the center of the brain. It is a pair of egg-shaped masses called the thalamus. Almost every sensory road, vision, hearing, touch, and taste, must pass through here before reaching the cortex. A thin net-like shell called the reticular nucleus wraps around the thalamus. It acts as the dimmer switch for the senses, selectively inhibiting signals to ensure the brain isn't overwhelmed by raw data. In 1984, Francis Crick proposed the searchlight hypothesis, that this structure sweeps across the thalamus to brighten whatever we attend to, while leaving the rest of the world in shadow. This filtering is what makes a stable experience of the world possible. If the gate fails to suppress the background noise, the world becomes a roaring chaos of raw sensory data. The CSTC loop, connecting cortex, striatum, and thalamus, keeps the thalamic filter tight. Psychedelics stimulate 5-HT2A receptors in this circuit, opening the gate. The reticular nucleus loses its grip, allowing a flood of normally discarded sensory and internal information to flow directly into the cortex. This mechanical breakdown of the filter creates the biological state of sensory overload, known as the psychedelic trip. Researchers have recently used modern imaging to move this framework from theory to direct evidence. Under LSD, brain scans showed massive connectivity increases between the thalamus and cortex, photographing the open gate. To confirm the mechanism, researchers administered ketanserin, blocking the 5-HT2A receptor. This abolished the connectivity change entirely, returning the brain to a baseline placebo state. This provides empirical proof that our perception of a stable reality is held in place by this specific receptor and this central gate. The hallmarks of the experience, the geometric patterns and the sense that ordinary objects carry an unbearable significance, are the result of this unedited data flow. The cortex is receiving a tidal wave of signals it is not adapted to process. It tries to make sense of the noise by projecting meaning and patterns onto the flood. Even the feeling of ego dissolution has a physical correlate here. When the gate fails, the brain loses the ability to distinguish between internal bodily signals and the external world. The sensation of an expanded mind is the raw experience of a brain that has temporarily lost its ability to edit reality. There is a reason the gate exists. This same leaky filtering is a measurable marker in conditions like schizophrenia, where the brain fails to separate signal from noise. Discarding 99% of the world is a hard-won adaptation that makes coherent life possible. While a psychedelic trip reveals the staggering vastness of the unedited world, it ultimately demonstrates why we need a gatekeeper to function within it.